Hello and welcome to Felac Film. Today we're discussing which films were too good that they ruined that genre. Here with me is Sir James.
Hello.
I'm James Forbes.
Hello, James.
Okay. Todd, you want to kick us off?
Okay, I'm going to start with the easy one. The one we're all thinking. The one you definitely have.
Oh, damn.
The one that made this so good it killed the genre thing.
Yeah,
become a
defined
thing.
it.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Fantasy is ruined!
So we've had...
Damn you, Tolkien!
So we've had... I mean, obviously there's Game of Thrones on TV.
Yeah.
But really in films we've had Harry Potter and Twilight and stuff like that. That's been fantasy in cinema for the last 15 years.
Yeah, totally. And then Lord of the Rings came out.
Yeah.
Ruined it.
Well, no, I mean, this is all we've had since then.
Oh, right.
And obviously we have Warcraft this year, which...
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
But I mean, like with Harry Potter, yes, it is fantasy, but it's wizards.
Yeah, that's
and
what I mean.
there's Lord of the Rings. It's no like, oh, we have these different species of creatures that all giants or whatever, all living in the same world. I do not know what I'm talking about. I have not seen any of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
I'm trying to chime in. All right.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But yeah, they were not only were they excellent films as like action films and stuff, they also won all the Oscars.
Yeah.
That year they didn't even have a ceremony. They were just like, here you go, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Here's Oscars. Best documentary short, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And that it almost made it that people didn't want to try anymore.
Yeah.
Because they thought I can't make a prestige pick that's also fan friendly.
Well, yeah, if you released a fantasy, you would just be like, oh, it's a cheap man's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, basically.
Seventh Son.
Seventh Son.
Yeah. That was also, that was actually one of my picks.
I knew it would be, that's why I stole it.
Yeah, poor fantasy. I wonder what the world would be like if there wasn't Lord of the Rings. What I don't know.
What fantasy would we have got?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you ever think they'll do a Game of Thrones film?
No.
We haven't really got to that point where a recurring TV series gets a film within its, whilst it's still
During
relevant.
its run, no.
Yeah.
It's normally to finish it off.
Yeah,
Sex and the City style.
Oh, yes. Great film. Yeah.
Loved it, mate.
No. Moving on. The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have that.
Yeah. Now, it didn't necessarily... Not all comic book films did it ruin, but I feel as though it has ruined the DC run of comic book films. And the Fox run, almost.
It's ruined the more superheroes in a grounded universe.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of has ruined Batman a bit.
Oh.
Because a lot of people now think, oh, Batman, he's just a guy who fights crime.
Oh, right. Not
Whereas now, watching who's a supernatural Batman, like Clayface.
Yeah.
People might be a bit more like, well, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
And
totally.
Batman was in those films. It got to the point where even in The Dark Knight Rises, people were like, oh, this is all a bit silly. Catwoman. Oh, that wouldn't happen in real life.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it wouldn't have.
Yeah, it would have, but... Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's kind of ruined Batman, so it's difficult to do any kind of mystical... I mean, Ben Affleck's definitely going to give it a go, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He's going to give it a go, but... watching Batman v Superman, it was a bit weird watching a live-action Batman up against this massive freakazoid.
Mm-hmm.
Running around, and it was a bit different.
Yeah.
I also think the other main character in The Dark Knight, the Joker, kind of had another element of the grittiness and the realness of all these films that had followed it afterwards. Is the idea that the villain doesn't need an explanation. So when Christopher Nolan did this with this Joker, I don't know what that noise was, sorry.
We'll never know.
That the Joker in this one didn't have a background, we didn't know who he was, he just appeared and caused mayhem, and that was great and original, I can't believe it. And then it's kind of been copied many times, where someone that we don't know exactly. Appears out of nowhere, causes mayhem for no real end to it. There's no what's some examples I can give? Fantastic Four,
Right.
the villain in that, Doctor Doom, he was off on another planet, came back, and he's killing people. There's no need to explain. I feel that directors feel as though they don't need to explain it. Like, well, he's the bad guy. It's like the Joker, he came out of nowhere. And I'm like, no,
Right.
but that was the exception
That's
to the
part
rule.
of the Joker's.
And that was part of his character.
It's
You
so
need
much
to tell
so
me
that he
why.
tells people different things about his life.
Yeah.
None of which might be true. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got another one. Chronicle.
Chronicle.
Found footage.
Yeah, found footage. Superhero.
Yeah, so I feel
kinda.
like up to this point, found footage was
Superpower.
kind of on the way up. So I guess it really started with Blair Witch, but
Yeah.
in modern times,
Modern
TYMZ, it was Paranormal Activity,
Yeah.
and more found footage was starting to come out of the horror genre and starting to spread a bit more. And then Chronicle came out. Cloverfield, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Chronicle came out, and since then, all you hear is found footage can be good. I mean, look at Chronicle.
Yeah. It was Chronicles was done really well,
Mm-hmm.
and it's done a bit too well because everything else in comparison, it's like,
Yeah, people are like, oh, well, I mean, I do like found footage. Like, Chronicle's
Yeah.
good, but Earth to Echo, not.
yeah, totally. I think the impression as well, the kind of difference with Chronicle, the found footage made sense with the story, whilst a lot of more modern found footage, it just so happens a kid is recording all of this.
Yeah, that's true. And there are sometimes, I watched a found footage horror film on Netflix, always a mistake,
Yeah.
and sometimes there wasn't even a character holding a camera.
Yeah, what's
It
that
was
about?
just filmed for something, and I was
It
like...
was just filmed
who's-
like it's found footage.
Yeah.
But who's the cameraman?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that bugs me so much.
Whereas in this, so they sort of had, he wants to record everything because his dad, he wants to catch his dad abusing him on camera or something like that. That's like a part of it.
Yeah.
But then they also have, when they're having their big punch up at the end, he's not holding the camera. They have all the different cameras in the city. They have people
Recording.
filming them.
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
like security footage.
You
Like-
always knew who the cameraman was.
Yeah.
And it just, look, they're flying in the air. Let's follow them with found footage.
Yeah.
I just found this.
I found this footage. Yeah.
Yeah. Cloverfield did it good as well. They actually made the
Yeah.
cameraman a character, and quite a compelling character, actually. It was
Is it
just,
TJ Miller?
oh my god, it might be. I don't know.
I'm going to look it up quickly.
But-
You say your next suggestion while I'm looking this up.
Sure. My next suggestion is Star Wars. Now, we all love it. It's great. It's epic.
Okay. Are we talking original Star Wars or just in general?
I guess in general. Because there isn't... What's another big space opera kind of film?
Star Trek.
Yeah. Now, I was thinking about Star Trek, and Star Trek, their films have always had trouble making lots of money.
Yeah.
And there
Apart
is...
from the 2009 one,
Yeah.
which for some reason just made all the money.
Yeah, I guess that's because of J.J. Abrams being attached to that. But and Paramount themselves, they took a new direction. They got the director, who's Justin Lin, is that the director? They got him to do Star Trek Beyond. Star Trek Beyond has done a bit better, but in Paramount's eyes, not great.
I think it's done worse.
Okay, so what I said. But in Paramount's eyes, they don't understand why Star Trek isn't a $1 billion property, such as similar to Star Wars is. And I think it is that way because of Star Wars. That everyone, it's just universally, you love Star Wars. It's totally acceptable to love Star Wars. It's cool, it's in fashion, and it's just like, yeah, duh. That's what you see when you see a space film. But Star Trek, you've got the kind of Trekkie image of it. It's kind of the nerdy in the negative use of the word, and just not as fashionable for some reason.
And even when you actually think about it, Star Wars is much more nerdy because it's wizards in space. It's space wizards.
Yeah.
Whereas Star Trek is like political, social topics.
Yeah. It's a lot.
But for some reason, Star Wars Episode 7 cruised to 2 billion, no problems.
Yeah.
Star Trek
Can't
Beyond,
crack a billion.
a critically acceptably good film.
Yeah.
No one, it's not being seen by a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think Star Wars has done so well, it is difficult for any other franchise, any other film to get anywhere close to what Star Wars has done. It's the ultimate sci-fi fantasy, and there isn't much that can compete.
I would say Guardians of the Galaxy did well, but that was because of the Marvel branding.
As well, yeah.
More so.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxies are close to that as well, but that hasn't cracked a billion or got near to the totals that Star Wars has, and I think it's going to stay that way for a long time.
Quick update. Cloverfield. Yes, it was TJ Miller.
It was!
Also, Lizzie Kaplan is in that film.
Lizzie Kaplan, who's that?
Okay.
Lizzie Kaplan. Is she the
Doesn't
one in
matter.
Masters of Sex?
Maybe.
Okay. But anyway.
Yes, yeah. Right. This
Movie?
one, my next one is one that kind of ruined the genre for a different reason. The Matrix.
Oh, I did add on my list. I took it off, though. But
Okay.
go on.
Right, so The Matrix didn't stop sci-fi action mind-bending films.
Yeah.
What it did was started or produced or changed things into that which shouldn't have been that. And made, it made Swordfish, a film about hacking, have bullet time in it.
Yeah.
And it just sort of
bullet time it did kind of ruin a lot of films, yeah.
like they put bullet time in Charlie's Angels. And it's just kind of, don't get me wrong, I love The Matrix.
Yeah.
As do a lot of people.
Yeah.
But God, did it spawn a lot of... I mean, even stuff like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Those films have no place being like The Matrix, but they are.
I think that is an excellent point about the bullet time. That when The Matrix did it, they spent millions getting it to work.
They created this new technology.
There was new technology. They had to buy all of these expensive cameras that were positioned around and everything like that. And then some other people figured out a cheaper way to do it. So then everyone just did it. And I was just like, no, there's no build up to it. You're just doing it because it might look cool. At least in The Matrix, it made more sense because we wanted to see how quickly this guy can move.
Yeah. And then you think about the most iconic bullet time shots of all time are him bending over backwards and Trinity jumping up and kicking that guy.
Yeah.
How many other filmmaking techniques can you look at? When was that, 99? So 17 years later, they still haven't been bettered.
Yeah, they haven't really. There have been other techniques. You can say like shaky cam. That's in the same kind of frame. No, when that first came out, that might be. I could just make another point here with Bourne.
Born
with the shaky cam. When it was initially done, it was like, whoa! I've just been.
Right there in the action.
I'm right there in the action. How many directors have said that when they were like, all right, we want to do a shaky cam here, so the audience feels like they're right there in the action. But it was so like, oh my god, he's just killed a guy with a pen. Like, what is going on? This is insane. And then everyone did it to explain action. And what it ends up being is, I don't know what's happening.
It also, not just for action, it sort of ruined the spy genre. Because a lot of spy films stopped being International Man of Mystery and started being
gritty and real.
Yeah, like it happened to James Bond. James Bond was almost always about having fun, even the more serious ones, and then it became, look at all this shaky cam.
Yeah, a bit of shaky cam. The kids love it. It's like, no!
Stop it.
No. But then I think you could argue Bourne has been topped, unlike The Matrix, by Mark Miller. Is that the right name? The director of Kingsman.
That's not Mark Miller. That is.
Oh. Damn.
No.
But the director,
Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah. Matthew Vaughn has done it. He's done it really well. Several sequences in
because he's zoomed out a bit.
Yeah.
The camera is shaking. But you can still see what's happening.
And the camera follows the action rather than, I'll just stand here and just shake the camera.
We're both thinking about the church scene in Kingsman.
Definitely. Who isn't thinking about the church scene?
people not listening to this are thinking, you know that scene in Kingsman?
Yeah, someone has said that in a while, definitely. Yeah, that was that my point? No, I just made it up.
You got. Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
All right. This one's quite personal, but I also kind of feel like it's a bit of a trend. So I kind of like crap horror films.
Yeah.
And anyone that I give pretty decent reviews to films that a lot of people think are crap because I feel like there is some merit in just something spooking you a little bit and you jumping, even though I appreciate they're not that well made. The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2 have sort of ruined horror films by being so good in a genre where mediocrity is kind of okay.
Oh, right.
Do you see what?
Yeah, I see what you mean. There's so many. I always hear these trailers of from the makers of Conjuring, or inspired by Conjuring.
Yeah,
yeah.
And they are. I preferred The Conjuring 2. I know most people didn't, but that stuck with me for a week after. No other horror film really for a long time stayed with me like that. And
do you think it's also ruined you?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, because at the beginning of this year, things like The Other Side of the Door and The Boy, I was like, they're decent horror films. Whereas now I just saw Lights Out. I think yesterday I watched it. Who knows? Which is pretty good.
Oh, right.
But I think if The Conjuring 2 hadn't come out, I'd have been like, it's incredible.
Yeah,
it's the best horror film for decades.
Wow.
And I genuinely think because The Conjuring 2 was so good that I hold horror films to a higher standard now. For a little while at least. Until it fades out of memory.
Yeah.
But that's more symptomatic of this whole thing of something being so good. Yeah.
It kind of ruins it. That's the topic of today, yeah.
That is exactly what we're discussing, yes.
My last point.
Okay.
Iron Man.
Okay. I think I know where you're going with this.
I know, I keep attacking DC. It's kind of two-pronged, this kind of argument. One, the fact that they started a cinematic universe with starting with, I guess the Hulk was the first one.
No, it wasn't.
Anyway, whichever one.
Iron Man came first.
Iron Man. They started it with that, and then there was a bunch of other people who said, oh, well, universes are in now, let's all do it. Mm-hmm. And the kind of idea that when they did Iron Man, it was the dream, a dream they didn't think was obtainable at the time of filming, of being able to do interconnected films. Mm-hmm. But the reality being, all right, probably not going to happen, so let's just make a good film, okay? Mm-hmm. And even though they didn't have a script and it's a bit of a mess, it still turned out all right in the end. And it turned out
better than all right.
Better than all right for a lot of people, yeah. But it just kind of upsets me that because of the success of Marvel, so many other studios are attempting the same success and are kind of rushing themselves to catch up. Yeah. And it
planting too many seeds.
Yeah, planting too many seeds. Trying to get there.
A lot of films have become about making a franchise rather than making a good film. Yeah,
and it has sent ripples through the whole industry that in order to, no one is signing off on one deal. A, it has to be based off something, and B, you better have a damn sequel in the pipeworks. We got not even just out of the comic book realm, you've got Universal, their monster movie universe, the old MMU.
The MMU.
But
MMCU.
Oh yeah. But they want to get onto that.
Yeah, because they're the only characters they can get public domain characters,
and they've already restarted it. Apparently, Dracula Untold is not going to be part of it anymore.
Yeah, reboot.
And then you've got over with the X-Men guys, and there was kept on being rumours of X-Men crossing over with Fantastic Four, so hasn't come to fruition. Spider-Man constantly being rebooted, and the idea of them spreading out into a universe, it makes bad films. It forces studios to say, we want this one film to produce 4 or 5 more films out of it. And it's too much pressure. You need to focus on doing one story without having to litter it in with little nugget there, little nugget there.
Yeah, and I feel like the Marvel films have also kind of learned still make a good film first, add seasoning later.
Yeah,
because the biggest culprit of being too much setup was Iron Man 2. Yeah. And since that came out, they kind of were like, okay, let's just make good films. And Easter eggs,
Yeah, little stuff that doesn't affect the plot.
post-credit scenes.
Yeah, post-credit scenes as well. Yeah, put more weight on that. So I don't mind that. If you made a complete film and then you had a post-credit scene where like, they did this in Dracula Untold actually, where he was just like, "I'm in the future."
That wasn't post-credits. That was just at the end.
Oh, that was just at the end. But a nice post-credit or just a very, very end scene just showing where this franchise could go as a little, treat it as a teaser or a trailer for people to be like, you know what, I enjoyed the film. They've given me a premise, a basic premise for the next one. I like it. I approve. But, yeah.
No, linking this one to the last one.
No.
Even standalone. No. I mean, for my last point.
Oh,
What used to be standalone horror films like The Conjuring.
Oh,
right. Now had a spin-off with Annabelle, which is getting a sequel.
Oh my god.
And now The Conjuring 2 is getting a spin-off about the nun.
Why?
And now there's suddenly this horror film universe. I'm going to see every single one.
Yeah.
But like horror films, yes, they are notorious for having loads of sequels, but now it's a universe.
That is insane.
Yeah. I got one more. This one is not so much, but it's still a bit. Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Beautiful. So Disney princesses.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast, Academy Award nominated animated film.
Oh, is it? Oh, right.
It is, yeah. After that, in the 90s, we got Pocahontas, who is exactly Mulan.
One of my favourites,
Yeah,
actually.
The thing is, these films are good. The Princess and the Frog.
Didn't see it.
It's great.
Yeah.
No one really cares about these films
as much as they did Beauty and the Beast.
Whereas before that, it's like every single Disney princess was a big deal. And now it's like...
It's kind of coming back. It's kind of.
Since
we've got Moana.
I feel like we also had Brave and Tangled,
yeah.
Which, but again, none of them were kind of significant,
yeah.
And I think it's because Beauty and the Beast was so. How many animated films have been nominated for Best Picture?
Yeah.
Since that, I don't know.
I suppose, yeah.
I can't. There probably is.
There
one
must
or
be
two.
a Pixar film.
Maybe. I think Up might have been.
Maybe, yeah.
Anyway, and yeah, I kind of feel like the Disney princesses, it's back since Frozen. Let's face it, but I feel like they took a little while to recover.
A big chunk out of it, and they just like Disney princesses as always.
Yeah,
and people like, no, I've seen it now. I get it.
And I'm not meaning to bring race into it, but one of the
Here
biggest things people say about Mulan, about the Princess and the Frog, and about Pocahontas.
Well, I don't see what your point is going to be. I don't see it.
Okay, so what films do you guys think have killed genres, or rather were so good that they have, damaged the genre that they're part of?
Oh dear, yeah. Totally, yeah. Let us know in the comments below. I've been Red on that. I've been James Forbes.
And I've been Todd James.
Bye!
They don't even know that he's dead, and Tony Stark's like, oh, better blow up all the Iron Man suits.
I did watch that trailer for utter trash.
Yeah, utter trash is a really good way to put it. I think they made the best film possible out of the source material.
Okay.